Welcome to Knowledge Dispatch. In this video, we will have a look on the important function in Excel called data validation. Data validation function is available in Data tab under Data Tools segment. Data validation function helps to restrict the users to enter invalid data in a specific cell and throws an error message or alert to enter a valid data. Also helps to choose the predefined data from the cells instead of manually typing. Let's create an employee master for XYZ company with data validation function and let's see how does it work. In this example, there are some criteria mentioned for each field or segment in the employee master. For example, the serial number, always it must be in numbers. And employee ID, again it must be 3 digits and must be between 100 and 999. The first name and surname are having the same criteria. It should be text and the length of the text must be minimum 2 characters and maximum 20 characters. For gender, it can be male or female. And date of birth, the employee must have born before 1st of Jan 2000. And the department, there are 10 list of departments are mentioned in the sheet. So instead of manually typing the department for the employees, it has to be chosen from the list. These are the requirements to create the employee master. As each field or segment are having different criteria or requirement, except first name and surname, before we apply data validation function for the column, we must select the respective column with the number of cells. As a first step, we'll apply the data validation function for serial number column from cell number C10 to C19. Click the data and data validation. There is a window appear with 3 different tabs. Those are settings, input message and error alert. Let's discuss about input message and error alert options in the later part of the video. In settings tab, under the field allow, there is a default options called any value, which means that anything can be entered in the cell without any restrictions. It can be number or text or date or time. Let's click the drop down options. Now we have to apply the numbers for serial number. So I'm selecting whole number. The moment I choose whole number, 2 more fields are appeared in the screen, minimum and maximum. And earlier the data was in disabled status and now it's also enabled. As always or by default, the serial number starts with 1. So I will choose greater than option or greater than or equal to, and the maximum option is disappear now. I have minimum, so here I will enter 1. If I would have chosen greater than, then I have to enter 0 here. Now click OK. So now the data validation function is applied for serial number. Let's enter 1 here. It will accept because we have given the options greater than or equal to 1. Now let me give 0 and enter. The system throws an error message and it does not allow the data to enter in the specific cell where the data validation function is applied. The error message is this value does not match the data validation restrictions defined for the cell. So let me click retry and try to enter some text. Click enter. It throws the same error message. Having said that, this will allow only the numbers. So let me enter in C20 0. It will accept because the data validation function is applied only from cell C10 to C19. So C20 is not applied, hence it will accept any value. Even if I type the text, it will accept. Let's do the data validation for employee ID. The criteria are it must be 3 digits and the value between 100 and 999. So go to data validation, click the drop down option, click the whole number. So by default it has the between. So in the minimum put 100, in maximum field enter 999. Click OK. So enter 101, it accept 99, it throws an error message. Click retry, enter 999, it accept. 1001, it does not accept. To first name and surname, as both the fields are having the same criteria, so let's choose both the columns together and apply data validation. Click the drop down option. It must be text and the characters should be minimum 2 and maximum 20. Choose text length option. So in the data field, by default the between option is there, and for our requirement obviously we have to use only between. In case the requirement is the characters should be greater than 5 or the characters should be less than 10, so based on the criteria we can choose the option. I'm choosing between option now. In minimum the characters should be 2, maximum enter 20, give OK. Let me enter only one character and enter, it throws an error message. 2 characters, it accepts. Let me enter more than 20 characters, it throws an error message. Likewise, we can define the text length for the employee names and surname. Let's also test in the surname. A, it throws an error. 2 characters, it's accept. And trying to enter more than 20 characters, it throws an error message. Let's move on to gender field and selecting the specific cells where data validation function should be applied. The criteria is gender must be male or female. Click data validation. I will choose the option called list. The moment I select list, the data option is in disable, which means that we cannot apply the data option for list function. In the source, I will type male, comma, and female. Give OK. Now if you look out, there is a small icon which is nearby to the column gender. So click, you can choose male or female. Okay, now let's move on to date of birth. Selecting the cells first. The criteria is employee must have born before 1st Jan 2000. We have to use date option in data validation function. So I have the date option. Let me choose. When the criteria says the date of birth should be before 1st Jan 2000, so we have to use less than option, or even we can use less than or equal to. Let me use less than. So it says 1st Jan 2000. So let's put give OK. If we would have chosen less than or equal to options, then we have to enter 31/12/1999. So I prefer to use less than option. Give OK. Let's enter 1/1/2000 and check. Data validation function does not allow. Retry. Let's enter 31/12/1999. It accepts. Try to enter 30/12/2000. It does not accept. 1970. It accepts. So likewise we can define the date option in data validation based on our requirement. Now let's move to department column. We should not manually type, instead have to choose it from the list of options available. As a first step, I will select the cells, click the data validation and go to list, which is almost similar to the gender options which we defined. So there are two options. Either we can type everything here with a comma. It takes more time to manually enter. So we can just click the option, can refer the cells and enter, give OK. Now the drop down option is available in the department column. I could see all the options are available here. Choose admin, marketing. There is one demerit when we are having all the options in the same worksheet, and due to manual mistake there is a chance of the options got deleted from the sheet. Let's say the operations, the marketing are deleted unknowingly. Now if you check the drop down options, there is a blank between HR and sales and one more blank between sales and client management because the two options got deleted. In order to avoid this mistake, and whenever we use the list option, we can have the list options in the another worksheet and we can hide the worksheet as soon as we apply the data validation function. So here I have created a sheet called department in which I have the list of options available here. Instead of applying the data validation function from here, I prefer to do it from the department worksheet. So click the data validation and select the sheet and the options. You can skip the header department, give OK. So now the cell reference are coming from the department worksheet. Give OK, hide it. Now if you look at the options, everything is available and even a particular row get deleted and still we can find 10 options. Let's say we have to add one more line item to the option, that is the 11th options to be included for the department. So unhide the department sheet, business continuity. Again we have to select the entire cells where we want to apply the data validation, including the 11th option. Click the data validation. Now have to extend it 12. Give OK. Hide the sheet. Go and check. The business continuity option is enabled here. So this is how we use data validation function to define the criteria and restrict the users to enter invalid data in any specific cells.